This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you through life's transitions. And each week on this show, I bring on the coolest, most amazing, awesome CEOs, experts, authors, global changers, and truly leaders and experts in their field that come on to share their stories of reinvention and transition with us. And this week, I am so excited to have on my show my friend. I love and adore her. I admire her work so much, Cindy Ashton. Hey,
Thank
Cindy,
you.
how are you?
Hey, Diane. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's like the mutual love thing going on because I've only met you recently, and the minute I met you, within 30 seconds, you're like, oh, she's my tribe, she's my people, I love her. So I'm so excited to be here on I Have Today. Hello, everybody watching.
I'm so excited to have you too. You're a soul sister, and we are, we just clicked, which I absolutely love. All right. Yeah. So let me tell the audience what our theme this week is. It is how to get noticed and paid well for it. Cindy and I know this in our industries, in many industries, but in the work that we do, the disconnect between the male and female salaries and work actually and opportunities. So we're going to get deep into this conversation about that, and that you should be seen and heard and get noticed, and you should be paid well for it and compensated for it. So we'll talk about that. So that's the theme for the show. The intention statement is this. If you're writing it down, let it anchor in this week. I have today to be seen and heard. Yes, you do. You should shine like the bright star that you are. And Cindy shines so bright. I just love her. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little bit of your bio, Cindy, and then we're going to really get into your story from your perspective.
Cool.
So yeah. Cindy Ashton is the CEO of Minerva Enterprises, an elite-level presentation strategist, professional speaker, singer, and award-winning TV host of Cindy Uncorked at E360 TV. With 20 years of experience, she's an authority on presentation skills, speaking voice, body language, content delivery, and leadership presence. Canadian-born, Cindy lives in the United States under a green card for a person of extraordinary ability and is considered to be in the top 1% in her field of training, speaking, and performing. She has received awards from former President Obama and Queen Elizabeth II for her lifetime of volunteerism, and has appeared in multiple media, including ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Inc. magazine, and Forbes. Cindy, that just scratches the surface of what you do. So impressive. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So share.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Good. I know we got great energy going. So tell a little bit about your story, because I read on your website, your story of the fact that you're even on planet is incredible, right? And so
a miracle.
It is such a miracle. So
it is a miracle. Every breath is a miracle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have today, right? We woke up today.
I have today. Yeah. So when we talk about getting noticed, it has been a lifetime of me trying to get noticed as somebody who is invisibly disabled on this planet. And so let's start from the very beginning. I'm going to break out into the song at some point.
I love it. I love it.
So I have always known that I was a performing artist. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was swimming in my mom's uterus going, jazz hands, pretty sure of it. And, but when I was born, my body had a whole other game plan for me. I was born with heart failure, a 20% chance of living. And the left side of my body was structurally damaged, which meant that I had to have speech therapy to learn how to speak, let alone become an opera singer and a Broadway singer. I had to have casts on my legs so they'd grow out straight so I can hopefully walk, let alone go on and dance and sing and act. And then I had multiple heart surgeries, the first one at 11 days old,
wow.
to hopefully save my life. So they saved my life as a baby. And they said, well, enjoy her. She'll probably be dead by the time she's a teenager. I'm still, kicking around. I'm like a cockroach, only cuter, and you can't kill me.
Hey, you know what? You're a strong, powerful woman. Good for you.
I am. And when I was younger, if I could talk to my younger self, I wish I would have known that when I was younger. All I knew when I was younger is I was this woman who was this little girl who was in pain all the time and, supposed to die and fighting really hard and feeling like I was being punished for something and like God was punishing me because I was so sick and like I didn't deserve to be here and I didn't deserve to be worthy. And I know my power now, that's for sure. Yeah. But, because of, all the cutting of bones and tissues and nerves and muscles, it has literally left me in chronic pain to the point where I couldn't sleep through the night until I was 29. And it's been a lifelong of going from, 50 to 80% pain days. And that's compared to just myself. I don't know what normal people's pain days are like. I managed to get down to about 5%. It has literally taken a lifetime because I don't even know if they talk about it now, but people talk about if you're blind, if you're in a wheelchair, if you're a visibly disabled person or live with a visible, illness, people will help you. Yes. But if you're living with invisible illness or chronic pain, people can't see it. So when you advocate for yourself, first of all, if you advocate for yourself, you're not heard, especially somebody like me who comes across with such great energy. But on a bigger level, we don't talk about trauma in the body. We think of trauma as assault, being assaulted in some way.
Yes.
We don't talk about how trauma in the body carries throughout your lifetime. So I literally have spent a lifetime of trying everything that you can possibly imagine to figure out how to reduce my pain levels from 80% down to 5%.
Yeah,
down to
wow.
5%.
Wow.
It's been a lifetime. Yeah. And even now when I advocate for myself, I'm still not heard because I look so normal.
Yes.
And then I have to educate people because I'm in my power now and I don't feel like a victim anymore when people don't hear me. I say, listen, sit down. We got to have a conversation.
Yes. Yeah. Because you know what? Actually, I've got a very good friend who lives in invisible pain too.
It's really.
And my story was a mental, that state where I was, on the outside, everything looked so good, but what was going on the inside was just killing me and debilitating me. And so the suicide attempt and the people out there who have committed it or attempted it or think about it, that's invisible pain too. And you're right. You're right. When it's physical and it's obvious, people can take action, but when it's not, you have to speak up, which is so good. All right. More to the thing. Yeah.
It's an interesting journey. And we don't talk about what foods we need to eat to reduce pain. We don't talk about what type of yoga. Like I do yin yoga every day, at least once a day, if not twice. I meditate twice a day. I control every freaking thing that goes in my body. Because if I don't, I know that if I cheat at some party and have the cake, I'm going to be spiking in muscle spasms for 2 days.
Wow.
And it's just like I have to control every part of my life. And even with my business, I can't have meetings until 11 a.m. because I need the time, even though I wake up at 5 or 6. Because I never know what my pain days are going to be like. I don't know if I'm going to wake up with 5% pain, which is easier to get out of bed, or, this last year I've been dealing with a very challenging situation and my pain levels went back up to 20 to 30, sometimes 50%. And today's a 50% day.
Wow.
And so it will take me 3 hours on a day like today to be able to get on camera with you and for people to not be able to tell.
Wow.
It's crazy. And it's very difficult whether you're in a workplace or in a business, because sometimes I come across as biting and I know that. And part of it is that I'm a high D behavioral style. I'm direct and to the point. So my New Yorker in me, even though I'm Canadian. But a lot of it is that it takes so much groundedness and presence for me not to snap at people, because especially because I'm a public figure, I have people at me all the time. And what they don't realize is that I live with so much illness and pain that I'm managing every day of my life. Especially in the morning, I have to gauge where I'm at physically when I'm waking up and figure out how I'm going to manage my day. And it's impossible for people to understand that. But when somebody is pushing through my boundary, I have to try to be some love and kindness and just be that. But sometimes people push me over the edge and they're like, wow, she's such a bitch. And I'm like, you have no idea what it takes for me to perform at the level that I do.
Yes.
So, but we don't talk about that. And when I do, it's people can't believe it because what they see is a public figure that took 3 hours to get to what I look like right now.
Mm-hmm. Amazing it's story.
Crazy.
You have. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I just really want to raise awareness about invisible illness because especially right now, 50% of Americans, and it's about the same in Canada, live with some kind of a chronic condition of some sort.
Yeah. Wow.
But we're not talking about it. And most of those people weren't born with it, so they didn't have to figure out how to live with it. It's taken me my whole lifetime to figure it out. But it's interesting because people are developing these chronic conditions because of what they're eating, because of their lack of exercise, because of emotional stuff they haven't broken through, whatever that is, or genetics. But a lot of people are entering illness later in life and they don't even know how to manage it. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't understand it. And it's my big cause. It's one of my very big causes around really helping people to understand around this whole topic.
Well, you're a shining example of how to do it and what you're doing, and you're out there with it, and you are such a high achiever and so accomplished and do so many things. I mean, your talent blows me away. Incredible opera singer, performer, speaker, leader, mentor, coach, TV show host, yeah. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Oh, give me a break. You're so freaking fabulous. But thank you, and I accept that, and I'm honored. We're talking about being seen today, being noticed. Yes. So I appreciate being noticed. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
You are welcome. So, okay. So I was going to segue into, what's been the biggest challenge for you, but I hear what that is. Anything you want to add? Because I know you're passionate, very passionate right now about another cause related to this topic. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we'll get into that. I think that the other big challenge, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, is that I don't fit in a box. And most people watching this probably don't fit in the box. And the ones that do fit in the box feel trapped by the box.
Yeah.
So, for me, wanting to be a performer, I'm trying to get seen and noticed growing up. And I'm the weird kid that has a crooked leg, that has a weird lisp, trying to learn how to speak. And I'm the kid with the eye was up and to the left until they had surgery because, again, I was on the left side of my body, damaged. So I was this freaky kid with these giant scars. I mean, and here I am wanting to be a performer and endlessly bullied, throughout around not being pretty enough, not being skinny enough. And especially as a performer, I don't have big enough boobs. My ass is too big. I mean, I'm on the small side. If people see a picture, they're going to go, she's small. But I was always criticized of never being thin enough.
Yep.
And I'm very much a character actor, so that I'm not fat enough to be a character actor. So it's like, and then on top of that, I've been dealing with all this other stuff. So for me, the biggest thing, and leading into everybody else watching, is that when you don't fit into that mold, how do you get noticed? And what I've really come to learn, and what I wish I knew when I was younger, is that you notice by totally playing on your quirks, and what you think is your weaknesses are actually your greatest strengths. So we need to stop following the formulas that are out there and how to be successful. We need to stop following, because everyone says, oh, well, watch this person and emulate them. No, because they're their own person. If you look at the greatest influencers in the world, they are quirky and weird. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be, in terms of getting noticed, it's about owning that weirdness about you and your brilliance in your own unique way, in a way that's so undeniable, that's going to separate the crowd from the people that love you or hate you. People either think I'm a crazy ass idiot, or they think I'm the most brilliant, hilarious, crazy person, and they love that I break out in song every now and then, randomly.
Yes.
I should put it on my dating profile. We'll break out in the song at least 5 times during dinner. If you don't like opera and Broadway, you shouldn't date me because you're going to hate it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So what is the advice you would give for anyone watching this show? Some tip or 3 tips or something related to the work that you're doing right now. I mean, I know you got the performer and the show, but you really support people in their speaking career and their messaging. I follow you, and I've learned so much from you. And I know that there's being seen and noticed, and being confident enough to ask for what you're worth doesn't come easy to people. You know, they're afraid to shine their light.
Yeah.
Totally afraid to shine their light. Right? So,
yeah. Right.
So what would you say?
I'm going to give you the first thing, and people are going to be shocked by this, but you're more than your story. And I think that people are going to be shocked like that, because there's a lot of coaches out there selling, if you overcome something, you should write a book, and then you can go out and people will pay you to speak, and you'll get on the media and you'll be famous. And first of all, that's full of shit, because the majority of paid speaking engagements are not going to pay you for your cancer, your abuse, or any of those stories. That's just the market. The paid gigs are corporate. They want to know how you're going to change bottom line.
Yep.
But even if you never want to go into a corporation, here's my problem. Do you really want to be defined by only your story? Aren't you more than your story of overcoming whatever you've overcome? And so I love and appreciate and I honor your story, and I'm so freaking proud of you, but you're more than that. And I want people to go deeper. I really want you to go deeper and think about, don't give the generic, your thoughts create reality, let me help you with this, let me help you with that. Like, what is it about you? Bring in all of you, not just that one story, because that's going to create a lasting brand. So you start to look at, like, what other experiences have I had? What's my education? What's my life experience? What's my work experience? What have I gone through that gives me a point of view that's radically different? So I have a point of view that I think this whole authenticity kick that people is on is a bunch of bullshit. And people go, what? But I have a very strong point of view that encompasses my entire background, not just my story.
Right.
So be more than your story, but that brings me to tip number 2. Stop being authentic. And the reason why is because everyone's selling authenticity. And while I love the concept, most people are becoming this weird persona. They're creating these personas and these images of what they should be and look like. And this is my real self. And I'm like, bullshit, it's not your real self.
Right.
Your real self is flawed and gorgeous as you are. And so when I look at presentation, my problem with most presenters is that they're so busy trying to be perfect and poised and scripted and You're so in your head that you're not being in your being, and you're not listening to your audience. And Minerva Enterprises, our company, we're on a mission to change how speaking training is done out there, because a lot of it is really what I think is robot training, and people are very offended when I say that, but it's robot training. As a professional performer, if I don't know how to be present in my body and in touch with my emotions and be able to take in the audience and respond to what they're giving me, then I'm nothing. I'm a horrible actor. I'm faking it. But I see these speakers go on stage and now I'm going to be happy. And now I'm going to be sad. And now I'm going to say, are we going to do this? Yes or yes? But they don't listen to the answer and actually respond. And I'm like, please stop this. Like, just stop it. So don't be authentic. Be real. Be real. And that means learning to, number 1, go beyond your story and create a point of view that's so radical and will change the world for your audience. And number 2, being real is about learning to be you got to work through your inner crap so you can be so present in who you are and so expanded and so open and so comfortable with every part of you that then it's easy to take that energy in and truly connect with other people in an authentic way. And I just said I hate the word authentic, but in a real way, in a way that's truthful.
Yeah, honest, real honesty.
Honest presenting, people, please.
Yes. I love those 2 points. That's so true. And you're right. We don't fit in a box. I'm going to speak tomorrow, and I go out and I speak. Cool. And when I go out and there's several speakers, I'm just going to give this one of my strategies away. I always ask to be the last speaker, if that's possible, because I've been out there and I've seen this robotic thing too. And I've got a speaking coach and a business coach and all of that too. And I've learned a lot, but what you're saying is so true. If I'm there, it is when I shine the most, because I'm making connections with people. Yeah. And they cry and they laugh through that me just being real and raw and the perfect imperfection. That's what I like to call it. We're perfectly imperfect, right? And that's what really gets people. So, and then they come up to me after and go, oh my God, wow. And then I know, all right, I touched a heart. I touched a soul today. I changed. I want them to leave with the lasting impression, at least one life-changing thing that they hear that day that changes them in a positive way. Yeah. That's all the goal is, right? And to make that connection. So you're speaking exactly like we're on the same page about that. And I'm so glad that your company is training people to do that instead of do the 3-point formula, do the 5-step this, do the whole, Yeah.
And it's interesting because if you really want to talk about your story has to connect to what you're doing. So if you think about my story, what does me having to have multiple heart surgeries and dealing with pain have to do with presenting skills? So here's an example that I want to model for everybody listening. And because, through my 20s, I was still living with 50 to 80% pain. And so because of that, and I would literally come across so aggressive because I was pushing through my pain and my illness. And I was losing a lot of work that way. Even though I was smarter and more talented than a lot of people, and I think about these business people, I think about speakers who are so freaking brilliant and talented and they're doing everything quote unquote right. But how they're presenting themselves is defying them. Even they've gone to great coaches who've taught them how to be confident. But if you are carrying pain, trauma, illness, stress, and everybody carries stress at some point in your body, that will directly affect your energy, your speaking voice, your body language. And so when we're working with our clients, the first thing we're doing is we're teaching them stress management and relaxation therapy and getting them down on yoga mats and literally release all the crap in your body. So even if you just have the worst day and you have to get on a sales call, that you know how within 5 minutes to get yourself back in the zone so you don't lose that sale. You know how to get that relaxation. So first we strip away all the crap that's not working for people, and then we give them actual techniques to be present and connected and speak their point of view in a way that's powerful from their truth and honesty. Mm-hmm. If I can teach other trainers, because there's so many really good speaking trainers out there, not all of them are teaching canned stuff, but they're all missing this piece of the fact that 50% of people are living with illness, 73% of people are living with chronic stress every day. This is affecting our voice, our body language. But unless you're opera trained or have had extensive training like I have, you're not going to understand how breath and all that stuff affects the voice. I mean, as an actor, professional actors, when we're going through theater school, we're doing major work around body work and relaxation and breath. And I mean, because it's about releasing that to be present.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got
all kinds of causes.
Yeah. Got to clear all that away. Well, good. I love that. And that's not living in a box. You are living, the things that piss you off, you go after, and the things that bring you pleasure, you support that too. I love that. Right? Yeah. Okay.
People are awesome. I just want people to be their full selves. And I see too many people limiting themselves because they're being put in these blueprints. And I'm like, stop it, please. Just stop it.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. So I ask all my guests this question. How do you live the I have today way?
How do I live the I have today way? It is about what I've been talking about, really being present. I make sure that I meditate, I chant every day. I make sure I do yoga every day, breathe into my body, because we really do have today. And if you're not living it in your presence, you're just going through the motions waiting for the future. So for me, living it is about breathing and really being conscious about that breath in your body.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then how can people find out more information about you in general?
So our company website for the presenting training to propel business growth is Minerva, like the Roman goddess of wisdom, minerva.ceo. And my personal website for my singing and my acting and all that is cindyashton.com.
That's great. That's great. We'll have links for that as well. Well, is there any final piece of advice you'd like to share with the audience?
Trust your power.
Trust.
I have betrayed myself so many times in my life because I didn't trust my gut and I didn't trust my own power. So women, we betray ourselves all the time, and men do too. So, because I love men and there's so many great men who are advocating for women and doing great work. But I would say trust your gut above anything else and trust your power above anything else. You've got this. And we have today. I have today. You have today. We've got today.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here on the show, Cindy. It was a pleasure. I love playing with you.
Me too. Thank you for having me. And thank you for watching, everybody.
My pleasure. Okay, so don't forget the theme of the show was how to get noticed and paid well for it. And the intention statement this week was, I have today to be seen and heard. And so for more information about me, you can go to dianeforster.com, and I sing it, DianeForster.com. Makes it easy to remember when you sing, right, Cindy?
Diane!
So go there and check it out, and you can register for my free download of a money mantra meditation for you. So how to attract wealth, abundance, and money. So that's it for this week's episode. We'll see you next time at I Have Today. Take care. Bye-bye.